Hey everyone, my name is Alex Keeson, and this is Heart and Mind of a Leader podcast. We are in episode number 17, where I am discussing and bringing up various topics in the field of leadership and personal development. And today I would like to speak with you briefly about something that we all have dealt with and continue to deal with throughout our lives, both personal and professional, and that is failure and facing failure, as well as what to do if you had failed at something that you had attempted to start. And we all at some point in our lives had failed at something that we had attempted to start. This does not have to be a major project or a business idea, but even something as small as making a paper airplane. And I know that I've attempted many projects in the past, big and small, in which I had failed shortly after starting them. Was that a disappointing experience to me? Absolutely. Of course it was. But that did not stop me from continuing and trying again and again. What often happens that I've noticed is when someone fails at a particular task or a project, they stop trying because they are afraid to fail again and experience the same dissatisfactory feeling that they felt previously. Additionally, after experiencing failure, some people will tend to blame either the situation, day, time of the day, or another person, or anything else that they can find to blame for their own failure versus really taking a step back and analyze their own mistakes and learning from them. People tend to point blame on situation, product, service, or someone else, tend to have a fixed mindset. They usually are not looking for ways to necessarily learn from their own mistakes or failures and improve. Instead, they strongly believe that it wasn't them who made a mistake, but another person or that a specific situation was the cause of their failure. As a result, people with a fixed mindset tend to give up on trying again after failing the first time. And therefore, that actually they may leave many great opportunities behind and shift their attention and focus on something else instead. And then, of course, there are people who learn from their mistakes, have open and growth-focused mindset, and seek every possible opportunity in learning how to recreate previously failed attempts with focus on improvement and ultimately success. In order to learn from and overcome mistakes and failures, one needs to have an open and growth-focused mind. If you give up on something that initially you were very passionate about but maybe you failed in, you may be leaving something very special to you behind. Something that you did not have a chance to even see or experience simply because you decided to stop trying. So whether you or someone who tend to have a fixed mindset or someone with a growth-focused mindset, you can always recondition yourself to focus on continuous improvement and growth by simply asking yourself just a few growth-focused and mind reconditioning questions whenever you are faced with a failure or whenever you made a mistake. And one of those questions is, why is this important to me? Whether it's a particular project, task, new book, or your own business. So the question you would ask yourself, why is this a particular project, or why is this particular business idea that I have is important to me? And answer that question. The next question is, what will I gain from stopping now? And I'm really hoping the answer here will be nothing. Next question is, what could be the best outcome if I keep trying and succeed? So, and also the second part of that question is, what does success look like when I become successful? So you want to envision this, you want to create or recreate this picture in your mind and exactly figure out what will be the best outcome and what that success, ultimate success whenever you reach it, will look like. Another question you can ask yourself is, what can I learn from my original mistake, attempt, or failure to ensure that it does not happen again? So this is a great question where you ask yourself all these questions, and really this is your opportunity to analyze every single step that you took, all the actions that you took. Were they the right actions? And obviously if it's a failure, if it was a failed attempt, then obviously there is a disconnect somewhere. There's a gap that you need to fill and figure out what that is, fix it, learn from it, and get better. And that's exactly the purpose of this question here. Next question that you can ask yourself is, how will I feel when I finally succeed? So now, instead of just seeing what the success would look like, you want to really feel that success. What would it feel like when you finally, after all this hard work, several attempts of potentially failing and starting over again and improving and learning, and then you finally succeed? How would you feel then? I'm hoping that feeling there that you can recreate in your mind is that great feeling of accomplishment, success, and joy. Another question that you can ask yourself is, how will I feel knowing that I have stopped, being potentially a step away from succeeding? Now, I'm hoping this is the question that you would have the answer, because the answer is obvious here, right? You will not stop. You will continue. You will try again. But the point of this question here is, I want to make sure that you start thinking about if you were to stop. If you were to stop, and a lot of people do whenever they're faced with a failure, or whenever they make a major mistake, they stop because they don't want to try again. They don't want to have that feeling again. So, and then that's exactly the reason why. They don't want to experience the same feeling of dissatisfaction there, or failure. So if you knew that you potentially stopped just a step away, maybe one more attempt on trying again, and you could have reached your goal, you could have hit that success and finally reach your ultimate life dream, but then you choose to stop. How would you feel about that? Think about that. Next question here, and the last one that I have, is, what do I need to change or adjust to ensure that I'm successful next time? So once again, this is your great opportunity to figure out exactly where that gap is. What exactly you need to change in your process or approach, or maybe resources or tools that you use, or maybe seek some additional help and feedback. This is the great opportunity to do that, to ensure that you don't repeat the same mistake again. Now, and if you do, guess what you're going to do then? You're going to go through these questions, and you're going to try again, right? Because you want to reach that ultimate final success, your lifetime dream. That's what you're working hard towards. So these are the questions that I ask myself when I face a failure. By doing so, I recondition my mind to focus on finding an opportunity in every failure, learn from my mistakes, and try harder until I finally reach success. Last thing that I want is to really look back 5, 10, 15 years later and regret that I could have done something to reach my goal or dream, but because I had stopped trying, the lifetime dream was placed on pause, or even worse, forgotten. So if your dream is to start your own business and pursue your passion in life, don't stop trying simply because you may be facing some small or even large obstacles or limitations, regardless what they may be. You may be working your regular full-time job, 8 to 5 job, and putting in 40 to 50 plus hours every week, and don't see a way of starting something of your own, something that you love, while continuing working your day job. You may be thinking that I only have 2 to 4 hours every evening or less, and that I can spend at home with my family and my children before it's time for me to actually go ahead and eat dinner and go to sleep. You may also be facing financial challenges right this moment in your life and not seeing any way possible in finding resources to start your business after paying all your bills and, of course, putting food on your family's table. Well, guess what? I've been there. I know how you feel, and I had faced every single obstacle mentioned earlier. If I had stopped trying and gave up, I would never start my own business online in order to pursue my passion in life, which is helping other people like yourself to become better, stronger, and more confident leaders, as well as helping them to develop personally and professionally by sharing my personal leadership experiences and knowledge as I'm doing with you today. If I simply stopped trying, I would not have this pleasure of speaking with you today and sharing my knowledge and my experience with you and my passion. So please don't stop trying of reaching your lifetime dreams simply because you had failed once or several times before. It doesn't matter. What matters is you get up and try again. So just know that you may be one step or one more attempt away from success of reaching your lifetime dream. So keep going, keep making mistakes, learning from them, and trying again and again until you finally succeed, because that's ultimately the goal here. That was it for today. Quick podcast with you. Hopefully it's quick.